Given all the player absences around the league, including the Sixers, and all the mixing and matching you and the other coaches have had to do you feel like maybe you don't have as good a handle on where your team stands a month in as you would in a quote unquote normal year?
Yeah, I think that would be correct, Tom, for sure. It's funny how many coaches I've talked to, and we all say the same thing. We think we know what we're going, but it's been difficult. It really has for every team to kind of get your rhythm. It seems like every time you get it, something happens. You miss a game, guys miss games. So I believe it'll work out eventually. I think you have to just stay the course and continue to work on your stuff. And, maybe there's a silver lining in there somewhere that we don't see right now.
And if I could ask a follow-up on totally different, something different, especially having played, most of the 80s in Atlanta, could you speak to the significance of Hank Aaron's passing?
Yeah, it's very significant to all of us. Obviously, being owned by Ted Turner, and having a chance. And Ted Turner had such a love for Hank Aaron. And, being able to be around him quite a bit. Such a humble man. I mean, that's what stood out to all of us. He's a great example where he replaced anger with opportunity, and so he's a giant. You can still argue he still holds the home run record in a lot of people's opinion, and he was just such a humble giant.
Thanks so much.
Let's go to Rich Hoffman next.
Hey, Doc, your defensive numbers have slipped a little bit over the past couple of weeks. You were number one for the first few weeks. Obviously you guys have had a crazy couple of weeks, but is there anything specifically that you've seen, like as far as slippage or maybe something you'd like to do better?
Yeah, get everybody on the floor. Rich, honestly, it's hard to judge. It's almost what Tom was saying. I thought coming out of camp, we were really good defensively. I thought we showed that. The Washington game, I think we gave up a ton of points, but they're a high-scoring team, and we scored a lot in that game. But other than that, I thought the Brooklyn game was a bad defensive night for us. But after that, with all the disarray and the COVID, I just think it's really hard to judge right now where we're at. I loved the other night, that fourth quarter holding Boston to 17 points shows that it's in there. And, when we get it full strength, I think it will be.
Next up, Keith Pompey.
What's up, Doc? How you doing?
Good.
Good. Doc, tonight, Seth, is he going to be on a minute restriction?
Yeah, I told him I was going to play him 48, see how his lungs work. Yeah, I mean, there's no actual restriction, but there clearly is a restriction. I mean, there's only, I don't know how many minutes he can play. I honestly don't think a lot, just from watching him and the little bit we've done. We always jokingly tell the guys, your lungs will take you out probably before me. So I will, we just have to watch and see what he has.
I know Vincent isn't the guy that's in the rotation, but is there any update on when, he'll be back with the team?
Not yet. I mean, he's still working to pass protocol. So, hopefully soon.
Thank you, Doc.
See 5 hands. We'll try to knock these out, and we'll start with Dan Gelston.
Hey, Doc. Joel's conditioning obviously in the past has been an issue. Games played, minutes played. It doesn't seem to be this year, I guess. And have you noticed, after the games or day after games, it seems to affect him at all? Or if not, what do you think might be the key difference to him being able to go as long and hard as he's been able to go?
Yeah, Dan, I really don't have a history of it. I know what I know this year. I've heard, but I think that the key is he's in much better shape than he's been in. I thought he came into camp in really good shape. He showed up a month before, like we asked, and he was there most days working. So I don't know if that's the reason. I would say that's probably the reason. But he seems great. He seems like he can handle minutes, which is great. We don't want to, blow him out, obviously. I like that 33, 34 area for him. We can keep it in there. There'll be nights, though, where he may play 40, and then there will be nights where he plays 28, and it'll all even out, hopefully.
Next up is Bob Schramm.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, Bob, what's going on? Uh-oh, he's on mute or it doesn't work.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Doc,
you're back.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Hi, Doc. Hey, Doc, good to see you again.
Yeah.
Two quick things. I know they probably asked you the other night, but were you heartened by the fact that you guys played so well when Joel was on the bench and Ben was saddled with fouls? Was that heartening to see the way the bench played in that stretch, beginning of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I actually thought that was the most pivotal part of the game for us. That third, end of third, fourth is what I targeted after the game. We were down at that stretch, and they actually cut into the lead, tied the lead, and then when we brought Joel and those guys back in, we had a lead. That's huge for our bench. I mean, that's what we want to be. We want to be a bench that doesn't just maintain leads. We want to be a bench that can take leads, and our team did that.
Can I get a quick follow-up? Is Dwight, obviously we've talked a lot in the past, different when you coach a player as opposed to opposing. Has Dwight given you
He's been
a
great.
lot more than you may have could have expected?
Bob, I didn't know. I mean, but this is not the Dwight of 10 years ago, obviously. This is the Dwight of now. And it says a lot about him that he can be the one that he is now. He can come off the bench and it not be a problem. He can be a role player for your team and it's not an issue. So it speaks highly of Dwight. I think the experience last year with the Lakers probably taught him a lot about winning and what it takes and what each guy has to do.
Thank you. Thanks, Rob.
Gonna go Mark Narducci, Jackson Frank, Jared Weiss. Mark, go ahead first.
Doc, after the game, Marcus Smart was saying that Joel was kind of flailing and drawing fouls. Just wanted to see your thoughts on Marcus's assessment of that.
Well, I think Marcus is an expert at that. So he would definitely know if Joel was doing it. So that's all I would say. I think, great actors know great actors. They always have.
Okay, thank you.
Jackson, go ahead next.
Hey, Doc, I'm sure you knew that obviously Ben and Joel were very good defenders when you came in here, but I'm curious what you've seen through the first 12 games where they play together, how they complement each other and what their strengths are that kind of work together on that end specifically.
Yeah, they do. Their size. I knew Ben was a good defender. I didn't know he was this good, honestly, Jackson. They beat us here last year when I was coaching the Clippers, and I remember him having an amazing game, particularly against Kawhi down the stretch. But I didn't know he was this. There's times that we use the word swallow, that you feel like that's what he does, with his size and his speed. And it's been very impressive. And the fact that you can put him on so many different positions. Joel, on the other hand, is just smart. He knows at his position that he has a chance to really guard the floor in the paint by being a roamer, being a talker. And he's been very good in that way as well.
And just as a follow-up, I'm like, have you seen them work well together in pick and rolls defensively? That's something that's kind of stood out to me from seeing. Is that something you've seen as well too?
Yeah, we work on it a lot. We don't want to switch it if we don't have to, because Ben's ability to get over screens and keep coming, and his rear contests are real contests. They're not fake contests, and so where the guy with the ball knows he has to stop, he's not going to keep going into Joel. It's a pretty good combination if we can get into that defensively.
Last one, Jared Weiss, take it away.
Doc, we're a couple years now into the freedom of movement rules and how it's really increased scoring over the past couple of years. How do you feel that's reshaped the game, and how does it change the way that you game plan and coach?
Oh, it's changed dramatically. I mean, I played on that New York Knicks team back in the day, and that was our rule: no movement. We wanted to make sure no one was moving, and if they did, we would chuck them. And now obviously you can't do any of those things. You have to move your feet on defense. So I think it's opened the paint. It's opened the drives. But more importantly, I think it's opened the three-point line because of the drive. So it's changed the game quite a bit.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.